Reddit by Reddit recap. What incorrect info did your ex-ed teacher tell you? Not much, because he said, all you need to know is that you're too young to do it. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Was your teacher Forrest Gump? Even Forrest knew what's up. That a man's peen can be big enough to penetrate a woman's cervix and get into her uterus. Actually, it was a humbler brag. Student, coach. When you put it in, does it go up into the uterus? Coach, now, your average man. No. But some guys, yeah. He got busted for diddling eventually. That's some hentai level hit right there, so that shouldn't even register as fact. Didn't. Oh, the first time I took a ex-ed class was okay, but the teacher was very traditional, for lack of a better word. He told us about what it was. Condoms. STDs. Abstinence as an option. Pregnancy in the class for the most part felt pretty informative and not judgmental. And then some kid raised his hand and asked about Nalex, and the teacher said, oh, you mean gay X? And he said, no, I mean Nalex. And then the teacher said, that's how gays have X, it's gay X. And then he talked about lubes and how you can also lube for vaginal X. And then someone else asked, what if a man and woman have Nalex? And he said, then the man is secretly gay. And he was dead centered on that way of thinking. Women don't want to have Nalex, only a gay man would pressure a woman into gay X so he can find her attractive. That's how you hear about gay men having kids before being found out as gay. They start with gay X and finish normally so they can have kids and appear normal. There was a collective cringe from most of us, but I wonder if anyone in that class or in another now thinks like that. Till my boyfriend is secretly gay. Hit. And if you like it, you're secretly a gay man too. Don't wanna talk about it, and you already know what's what. Watch this video, and I'll give you the answers to the test after. We had this class for 3 months and he never took any questions. Ours showed us a video of a birth of a child. Glad we didn't go down to the ol' hospital to see that firsthand. Wasn't ready for that at 13, but in retrospect that is reality, and there's no point in hiding it. I still remember the fluid, so much fluid. I was sleeping in health class during a pregnancy documentary and woke up right when the childbirth was happening. I was not at all prepared. The head of the peen was called the glanus. She was super excited and told us it was a little known fact since she saw it on one textbook and never saw it where else. I think that textbook had a typo. Glanus the Good Witch. Glanus Morissette. Was told that condoms increase your risk of pregnancy. Also, fellatio can get you pregnant because the sperm knows where to go. Edit. Yes, that girl got stabbed and whatever, but I feel like the stabbing was the bigger deal than the pregnancy at that point. You can't abort a stab wound. Edit. If you don't believe this story, I don't know what to tell you. You're very much underestimating the insanity of most of America. My town itself isn't even particularly conservative. We just had a crazy substitute teacher while our normal teacher was gone for a few weeks. I've given Excel education seminars and I'm passionate about it as an adult, so none of this thread is unbelievable to me. Christ, what year was this? About 2009. Straight X. 99% chance of pregnancy. Gay male X. 100% chance of STDs and also hell. Lesbian X doesn't exist. Asked how lesbian X worked and was told I didn't need to know that. This meant that during my first time we had to stop and consult Google over whether or not we should be using dental dams. Another girl in my year got all her information from Star Wars fanfic because her parents didn't let her attend health class, didn't know women could orgasm, why she was menstruating, or what a fallopian tube was. Another girl in my year got all her information from Star Wars fanfic. I have many questions about this. You're worried about being pressured into X. Just keep things vertical, because it's not possible to have X without lying down. Edit. Since I wasn't clear on this. The teacher said all of that. The first part is good advice. It's not impossible. Just harder. No pun intended. As a 110-pound girl dating a guy with some solid upper body strength. It's kind of awesome. because there's just a little bit too much height difference between us for me to be on my feet. Every time a boy has his hands in his pockets, he's hiding his erection, vertical bar. Every boy in school made sure to always have their hands on show from that day onwards. The real misinformation here is that erections are something to be ashamed of. Seriously. Especially at that age. They just ducking happen, man. No control. That women don't die during childbirth. And that was just a myth. Obviously didn't watch the documentary Star Wars. She didn't die from childbirth. She died from SAD. But you can't pee with an erection. I thought that she meant boys were literally physically unable to do that. Not that it was just difficult. So the first time I did it, I thought something was horribly wrong with me. I had a teacher that told me that too. I told her she was wrong. And she told me I was wrong. I told her I'd prove it. And she wrote me up. What kind of teacher tries to argue with a boy about something like that? How can she possibly think she knows more than the one who actually has a peen? 10th grade. A biology teacher was answering questions and was really confident in the answers she gave. Clamon asked her what's the fastest way a girl can reach orgasm, to which she replayed every one is different, but it takes at least an hour for a female to reach orgasm. I remember 3 of my classmates having that itch. Are you high face? Some women are incredibly unlucky. The huge variability and sensitivity that women experience is one of the more interesting things about XMO. Some women are very sensitive and absolutely love X. Others have literally never been able to orgasm in any way. It takes me forever to orgasm, so most of the time with a partner I just end up feeling bad that I haven't come yet and focus on them. Periods don't hurt. Duck you. Yes they do. I realize some people don't cramp, even if I've never encountered a person without cramps, but still warn us. I thought I was dying the first time I had it. Oh. And they told us nothing about vagal discharge. I thought I was peeing myself a little for so long. My mother set me straight about everything. But I'm still mad that I was told so little. I remember our school had a lady come in from an outside company to talk to us about periods. Pretty sure the company was Tampax. She kept mentioning tampons. Tampons in relation to any period. And at the end we all got a goodie bag with Tampax tampons and a lovely holder that looked like a big Pez dispenser. Didn't care though, and was too young to really get the attempt at brand loyalty from a young age. She was this crazy Australian lady. Crazy in a good way. And at the time, mid-90s in the home counties, the only Aussies you really saw were on TV, so everyone was pretty much captivated by this larger than life Aussie woman making jokes about periods and boys and your body parts. She even had us shouting out some embarrassing words to desensitize us to saying them, and how we shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. She definitely told us periods hurt. They can hurt a lot. Some people might need to stay off school for a day or two, to which everyone was of course like, yes, duvet day. She was proper funny and engaging. That's how all chats about this sort of thing with kids should be. That sounds like it was wonderful. You'll never bleed through your underwear. If only. Several horrifying incidents in my life might have been avoided. Right? And to think, all those times I had to tie my sweater around my waist at school were just my imagination acting up. There certainly wasn't a group of fellow 7th graders laughing behind me. Any kind of unprotected X will 100% always result in pregnancy and AIDS, prenates. Possibly not in that order. Certain teacher would omit the part about protection and imply that this was the inevitable result of XL contact of any kind. Kids know when you're trying to scare them. The whole auditorium would roll their eyes in unison. Edit, roll, roll. If you have X you will get chlamydia and die. Average peen size is 8 inches. You can imagine how that would affect self-esteem. I'll just give it to her twice. Problem solved. It's all about how you use it. 2 inches at 200 miles per hour is a lot of peen. It's impossible to ejaculate while conscious unless having X with a member of the opposite X. This sounds like the type of teacher that has also never heard of wanking and has possibly never seen a peen before. More like a person who's a sort of Christian We were 8, we were given an impromptu lesson on it, and I asked where do girls wee from. My teacher told me they wee from the same place as boys, so I believed girls wee from their peen. Not wrong, just not explained well. It's not wrong, but it's also not any more right than it is wrong. That women can't have orgasms unless they're being penetrated. I pity that guy's wife. Maybe that guy's wife was just like that. She definitely orgasmed when I penetrated her. He said girls can't come. When a boy asked her to clarify, he said you just mean they can't ejaculate, right? And she responded yes, also that, but female orgasm is a myth. That poor woman. Rest in peace. Best comment of the day. I'm my health class. When we were learning about spreading of STDs, what my teacher did was she gave everyone a noticut and told us not to flip it over because on the back of one there was a red dot and that meant that person hadn't standard, and we went around and wrote our names on as many noticuts as we could in like 2 minutes. When we were writing our names on each other's cards, we didn't know what we were doing, just that we were writing our names, and then we went back to our seats and she explained what we were doing and what the red dot meant, and then had us flip over our cards, and whoever had the red dot had to come to the front because they had a standard. And of course, as my introverted self with no friends in that class, I had the red dot, and then she told everyone that had my name on their card come up, and then if anyone had any of their names come, and so on, except she told 2 people to stay seated when we were writing our names on each other's cards, representing abstinence, and by the end the only people left were those 2, and then she explained that was a little dramatic depiction of because it would also matter the order we slept together in, but she said it's safer to save yourself for marriage when you know it's safe, but if you don't, then make sure you trust the person, get tested regularly if you're sexually active, and use protection.